Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to another video by Wrenches and Wrenches, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how your car's AC system works. I'm going to be doing this on my brand new whiteboard. I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. You know, a lot of times I feel like I want to explain something and I can't really do it on the car. I feel like I either need to draw it or or get a software that can help me turn it into an animation. But I like drawing a lot better than working with software. So hope you guys like this whiteboard because it's going to be here for a while. Okay, with that said, what I'm going to do today is go through all different components of your AC system, show you what they do, how it works. Then later on I'll also try to show them to you on the car, and also go through some how to diagnose the system based on pressure readings that you would get if you had an AC gauge. Okay. As you may or may not know, your AC system is a closed circuit, as in the freon that's inside the system is not supposed to get out and nothing is supposed to get in. Obviously, you do have one of the main reasons your AC system doesn't work is probably because you develop leaks, small or large, and you get your freon goes below a certain threshold, and your computer through the pressure sensor that's on your AC system disables the AC compressor clutch, and you won't get the system doesn't work and you don't get cold air. That's going to be your main reason why the AC system is not working, but we'll save that for later. I just wanted to say that, so just because people, I'm sure a lot of people are going to start watching this video because the AC system is not working, but I'll tell you right now it's probably 80% chance it's because you have low on freon. Okay? Now, I'm not AC certified, but I did take some general automotive courses, and they did go through this quite a while ago, but I remember most of it, and I'm pretty confident I can tell you how the system works, if nothing else, help you understand how each component works and what to look for, what you're looking at when you're looking at all the different components inside the car. Okay, we'll start from the AC compressor, and the freon that passes through through your system is, it goes from the high pressure side to low pressure side. It goes from gas to liquid, from liquid to gas, and the system is set up in a way to manipulate that in the most efficient way to reduce the temperature that's inside your passenger cabin. And as you can see, what I've drawn in blue is going to be your low pressure side. What's in red is going to be the high pressure side. Okay, and we'll start at the AC compressor, and we'll go through where the freon travels through each component, and I'll tell you what happens to the freon and what's the job of each component as far as the system goes. Okay, so the refrigerant, when it gets to the AC compressor, it's already in a gas state, but we'll start from after it leaves the compressor. Okay, so the job of the compressor is, like it says, to compress the gas or the refrigerant that's in a gas state that gets to it and pressurizes it. Okay, so your AC compressor compresses the refrigerant and it passes through and it gets to your AC condenser. Okay, so it's gas here, and once it gets to your AC condenser is a radiator looking thing that's in front of your car next to your radiator usually, and I'm sure people have probably mistaken it for a radiator all the time, but it's not. It's for your AC condenser. Okay, so, and when it gets to your AC condenser, your AC fan or your radiator fan, depending on your car, it turns on, and it blows air over it, and it cools the refrigerant, and after your refrigerant, which is in a high pressure gas state, cools, it condenses. The AC condenser, like it says, it condenses it and it turns into liquid. Okay, so after it passes through your AC condenser, it's going to be in a liquid state. Okay, so after your AC condenser, your refrigerant gets to your receiver dryer. The job of the receiver dryer is basically just to remove any contaminants and also just to remove any moisture from the refrigerant, because the next couple of components that come after this, if they clogged up, it's going to ruin your whole system, and your system, you're not going to get cold air. Okay, so basically what it does is just cleans it up, removes any contaminants, and then after that your your refrigerant gets to your orifice tube or expansion valve, depending on your car make and model. I know I've drawn it like this, and it looks like it goes through both, but it's either or, okay? Either your orifice tube or an expansion valve. But they both do the same thing, which is to force the high pressure, the pressurized refrigerant through a very, very, very tiny opening, okay? And as they force it through that opening, and it goes from high pressure on one side to the low pressure on the other side of that opening, your refrigerant, which is in a liquid state, starts turning into gas, and as it starts turning into gas, it's going to use all of the heat, all of its heat, and it's going to cool down quickly and rapidly, okay? So as it passes through this opening, at the end, it's going to be start turning into gas, and it's going to get cooled very quickly and rapidly because it's going from a high pressure to low pressure and going from liquid to gas, okay? And one thing to mention is that if your car has an expansion valve, the expansion valve it's got a sensor on your evaporator, and it senses the temperature of the evaporator, and it makes its own adjustment with a diaphragm that's inside there, okay? On the other hand, your orifice tube does not make it an adjustment because it doesn't have any moving parts, okay? But the way that the system is adjusted is by your AC compressor clutch kicking on and off on your car, okay? But yeah, if you have an expansion valve, that's done automatically by your expansion valve by turning the diaphragm, by moving the diaphragm up and down, okay? That's one of the other reasons it's so important these don't get clogged up, because if they get clogged up, and they're easily clogged up if you get any contaminants in there and your receiver dryer is not working, they clog up and your system stops working. Okay, so once it leaves your orifice tube or expansion valve, it turns into gas, and this is the low pressure side. This is what's in blue. That's why I have it in blue. This is the low pressure side all the way here, and as this is now very cool, it gets to your evaporator, and your evaporator is what's inside the dash inside the cabin, and when you turn on your AC blower, which is this guy, it blows the air over your evaporator, and as it blows the air over your evaporator absorbs all the heat. Well, not all of it, but you know what I mean. It absorbs the heat, and it cools the air by absorbing its heat, and that's how you get cool air running through inside the passenger cabin. Okay, so after your refrigerant passes through your evaporator, it goes through your low pressure line, and it's usually just a direct shot to your AC compressor, and when it gets there, just the whole cycle repeats itself, and that's pretty much how your AC system works. Okay, now that we know it all when it comes to automotive AC system, what we're going to do is to move on to diagnostics. Okay, so in order to do proper diagnostics, what you will need is an AC gauge set. It comes with 2 gauges and these couplers. This one goes on the high pressure side, obviously the red, and the blue goes on the low side. You're going to have connectors on these on the low pressure side and the high pressure side lines. Where these go to, these are in your engine bay obviously, and they're usually pretty easy to find. But one thing to be said though, that is that in order for those numbers on your AC gauge set to mean anything, your AC compressor clutch must engage. And if it's not engaging, again, it's due to low freon in the system. And if you want to add freon to the system, you can. I have a video on how to add freon to your AC system that you can just look through my channel, and it's or search for how to add freon to your car's AC system, and it will come up, I'm sure. And but after you do that and your AC compressor starts engaging and you're still not getting cold air or still not working properly, then if you have an AC gauge set or you can borrow one, then you can move on to diagnostics. Okay, so now let's say we got our AC gauge set connected to our AC lines. We got the high pressure side to the high pressure point, and the low side to the low pressure connector. And what we need to do next is to find our base pressure. Base pressure now varies depending on the temperature and the humidity in the air. The numbers could vary a little bit, but if you have a good repair manual like Mitchell on Demand or All Data, you can look in and it'll tell you based on what temperatures and whatnot what your base pressure needs to be in your AC system. But for the sake of this video, we're going to say that it's 250 for the high side and 50 for the low side. And these are PSI, if you're wondering. Okay, and those proportions are pretty correct. It's usually about, you know, the high side is this much higher than the low side. Okay. And now let's just go through some scenarios, some numbers that we could get on our pressure gauge, and see if what we can learn from them, and see if you can tell what's the problem with our AC system. Okay, so let's say for the sake of argument, we get our first numbers are going to be 90 on the low side and 90 on the high side. Now, it's lower for our base pressure. It's a lot lower than for our base pressure on the high side, and it's a lot higher for our low pressure. But at the same time, these numbers are pretty much, well, they're equal. And now they don't have to be exact. You know, this could be like 100, this could be 85, or within 5, 10 or so of PSI. But we can pretty much, from that, if we get those numbers, we can pretty much tell that our system, the one component that builds up pressure on one side and keeps the other side at a lower pressure, is our AC compressor. And these AC compressors come with these valves, with these check valves that I've already erased. But basically, you know, you got these check valves here, and you got it on the low pressure side too. That only on this side only lets air get in, and on this side only lets, you know, compressed air get out. If these pressure valves fail, you know, your AC compressor might be spinning, but it can't build up pressure on this side, or it can't really. You know, the air that comes in here just goes back in, doesn't stay here, and it just basically does not build pressure, and you know, the pressure ends up pretty much being equal throughout all your system, and your AC system is not going to work if that happens. So if you get these numbers, you pretty much have to just replace your AC compressor. Okay, so for this one, we have a bad compressor. Okay, so next move on to the next numbers. For this one, we got 25 on the low side and 200 on the high side. Now this is lower for both high and low side. Okay, and you know, when you get lower on both sides, basically when you get these numbers, it's usually just means that you have low freon in the system. Now it's obviously not low enough where the AC system has stopped working and has disabled the AC compressor clutch, but it's just low, and you probably might notice that you're not getting cold enough air, and the air is not cold enough when it comes down to your vents, and it's not working as efficiently as it should be. But that's just because there's just not enough freon in the system to build up pressure on both sides. But that's only if it's lower proportionally again for both sides. Okay. Okay, next move on to our third set of numbers, and we got on this one, we got 350 for the high side, which is a lot higher than our base pressure, and we got 25 on the low side, which is lower than our base pressure. And we get this numbers where you have a lot more pressure on this side and lower pressure than what it needs to be on this side. Basically means there is more than likely a clog somewhere, and when the system gets clogged up, the clogs usually happen at the smallest openings, or the smallest points where the high side goes into the low side, and those points are either your orifice tube or expansion valve. Actually, in the case of your orifice tube is it's probably clogged up, but in the case of your expansion valve, it could mean that the diaphragm that's inside here is probably either stuck in the closed position or stuck, you know, just a little bit above the completely closed position. Therefore, it's just these building up pressure on this side, and it's not letting enough pressure to pass through here to the low side. And that's why you get these numbers. You get a higher number on this side and a lower number on this side. And the only way to fix that is basically just replace these. Now, if you have this issue and you need to replace these, you probably should replace your receiver and dryer also. By the way, I spelled dryer wrong, so I had a correction. So you don't need to point that out. Okay. But yeah, you basically need to replace that too, and because it wasn't doing its job, that's why these are clogged up. So when you place these, that goes with it. You know, I think now that's just covering the basics, but just from both how the system works and how diagnostics works. But you know, if you study this, you can learn a lot from this, and you know, you can do your own diagnostics even. Now, as far as replacing any of these components, you need to, what the idea of this video is to actually teach you how it works, so you either don't get, you know, ripped off when you go to a mechanic and you know how it works, and he can't just sell you like a AC compressor when you just know maybe it's got a small leak somewhere and it's low on Freon or something. And but also, if you wanted to do the repairs yourself, like sometimes depending on the car, sometimes it costs a lot of money for the AC compressor to be replaced. Like if you own a Passat or an Audi, that whole front, the whole front of the car has to come out to get your AC compressor, and there's a lot of labor involved. What you can do is basically just take your car to the mechanic shop, have them evacuate the system, take all the Freon, the refrigerant out, and then once you replace your AC compressor yourself, you save a whole bunch of money on labor, and then just take it back and have them fill it up. Now, if you are doing the compressor, there is oils that need to be added to the system, and when you take it back to fill up the system back up, they will add oil to the Freon, but if your different components need to have oils added to them. And this is what you need to find out through your repair manual. And again, that's why it's a good idea to have a good repair manual, so you don't make any mistakes. But you can save hundreds of dollars just doing the labor yourself, and then make sure you just call around and get different quotes for you know, evacuating and then refilling the system. You know, you can save, who knows, maybe a couple $400 or $500 easy, and keep that money in your pocket, save it for other things. Okay, and before I wrap this video up, I'm actually going to try to show you these components on my Chevy Monte Carlo that I got parked out here, okay? Okay, here's my Chevy Monte Carlo, and let's start at the same point that we started from on the board. Let's start at the AC compressor. There's a look at our AC compressor. There's our AC compressor clutch. Under normal circumstances, it turns freely, as you can see, and when it's engaged, it locks the pulley and it starts spinning the AC compressor. Okay, and here are AC lines. We get two coming out, well, they're both coming out of it, but refrigerant goes in from the low side, which is this guy, and then the high side comes out of it. It's the other one that's right underneath here that you can't see. There you go. Here's the other one. Here's the high pressure side on the bottom. It comes out, goes travels here, goes down there, and it's right there. It goes into your AC condenser there, which is this guy in front of the car. Here's your AC condenser, and when it goes there, it comes back out and it travels and goes to the receiver dryer, which is that guy. There's your receiver dryer, and after it goes through that, it comes back up. There's your AC pressure sensor. This is the what sense pressure. This is what senses the pressure in the system, and if it's too low, it tells your computer to turn off the AC compressor clutch. Okay. So yeah, and that's on the high side after your receiver dryer on this car. And after that, let's see, there's this, the temperature sensor, the pressure sensor, and there's the coupler, where your coupler for your AC gauge goes into the high side. There's a connector right there, and after that it just goes back here. It runs down there, and it comes back here. And there's your expansion valve. This car is equipped with an expansion valve, it seems, and here's the high pressure side. You know, this you would think the bigger one would be for the higher pressure, but actually it's the smaller one. This is the high pressure side that goes into your expansion valves, which is this guy, and then right after this, inside the cabin of the car, right pretty much in the center of the dashboard underneath, there's your evaporator, which I cannot show on video, obviously, but that's where it is. It runs in there, goes through your evaporator, comes back out on the low side. Here's the coupler where your coupler goes for the low side, connects to the low side right here. And after that, it just runs back down here, pretty much travels right along the high pressure line down here, and it comes back down to your AC compressor, and the cycle repeats itself. Okay, you know, actually it's not as complicated as it looks on the board when you get down here and look at it. Okay, with that said, I'm going to wrap up this video, but before I wrap this up, you might have noticed something, and that is that I'm going to be moving from this garage. Now, it's kind of sucks because I've been here 3 years and I really liked it here, but the owner of this building has changed and they don't want me back here. This is a residential area, and I've been you know, doing car repair here, and they just don't feel comfortable because of the flammables, or at least that's what they say. But anyway, I'm going to be moving from here in pretty much the next couple of days. There's probably going to be a while before I start uploading videos again, because I haven't found a place to move into. This stuff is just going to be stored at my brother's place for now, my tools and stuff. But you know, I'm looking, and it shouldn't be that long. I mean, maybe a month or so. But I'll definitely be back, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to still do videos using my new acquired whiteboard. So yeah, so wish me luck finding a place, okay? And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.